Hey guys, welcome back to this session from past 2 days, and let me show you let me give you overview like what I am building. So I am trying to build you can say Kotlin application. So this Kotlin application will be like you will scan like this application will scan your documents, understand. It will search using embeddings, then protect and act on your documents with 100% on device privacy. There is no usage of external AI right now, but in the future maybe I can add. But I'm just thinking like how to consider that point because then there will be no privacy if I add Cloud or OpenCV. So let's just resume the building part. So let me just start. But I'm just thinking like how to consider that point. Okay, so I have built the MVP phase. I have built the phase one, and you can get the source code of this application which I am building on my GitHub. So you can just go and watch there, and let me just continue continue the remaining part there, and um, let me just okay. Let's see what is left. Claude is thinking 4.5 tokens, man. What the hell? Part. Let's just wait. So we just start working. Continue with the remaining gaps. So the remaining gaps we have repository level test of sport. Okay, and I need to ship it on the GitHub also. Let me just see because right now you guys can't able to like download the application. Let me just see that. Me first run to validate. LPDF actions. repeater. So right now it is not on the GitHub Actions. I'm just deploying the APK file, but I have lint errors, unit test errors. I need to submit. So I need to add the GitHub repository secret, so then it will be able to uh, push the APK and binary files there. So let's just wait. Okay, so it's just working. Still running. Let me wait. Okay, let me just push it. Build still running. Likely downloading the Android native. I will continue once it finish. Okay, let's see. I think it is on actions. No, the build is running, not on the GitHub actions. My bad. Build failed. Security. Okay, guys, let me share with you some. So I have some alien stories. Let me just share with you guys. Meanwhile, Lord is working. Let me first see. Typo. Developer. Nope. Still running. Subscribe, like, and share also. Let me just search alien. This one. Alien. The US government had a formal reporting an investigation. Okay, so while it is opening, let me share what I am doing. So it is not the shadow government. Okay, so I just have the stories and let me. So first story I want to share will be like where a man claimed like he met a human-looking alien from Venus in California desert. So the story will go here like so. Wait, let just give me some seconds. Where it is building. All there is now actions. Okay, so the first story will go here like so a man claimed like he met a human looking alien from planet Venus in California desert. So the story goes here like so there were strangers it is one of the strangest UFO stories which comes out on the public in like recently, but the story was originally from the 1950s. So this story was from a man named George Adamski. So according to his narration, so like Adamski was in California desert, where you can say a group of friends who are also interested in UFOs were there, and they were just by watching. And at some point, they reportedly like noticed a large silver cigar-shaped object in the sky. So Adamski like had a strongest feeling that whatever was uh, inside that cigar-shaped object had specifically come to meet his friends. So he left his friends behind. So like he was in, you can say, uh, 20-meter or 20 feet away from that object, and he just walked towards that object, and he just left his friends and walked further into the desert. That's when the thing supposedly, you can say, became much stranger. So Adamski at that time like claimed like that a smaller aircraft or a smaller UFO emerged from the larger object and it landed nearby. Then he saw someone approaching him from that smaller, you can say, aircraft. But you can say instead of looking like the stereotypical gray alien, that creature is was almost representing almost like a human, and he also like describe him as a tall, attractive, and that alien has a long hair and almost usually perfect appearance. Like you can't able to distinguish between whether it is human or whether it is alien. And Adamski later gave him the name Orthon. So that's how this story originally originates. Okay, and according to then Adamski, he like they didn't communicate like how humans communicate from the gestures from the mouth, but they communicate through the telepathically and through the gesture. So like the message was a warning, and in the warning like that creature was saying like this was shortly after World War II. Like after the World War II, this event happened, and during a period when nuclear weapons was testing was becoming a much more global concern, Adamski, you can say, claimed Orthon and warned him that humanity's nuclear experiment were like not only damaging Earth, but they were somehow, you can say, affecting the solar system also as well. So Adamski later said like the being which he said like through the telepathically he said like the being came from the Venus here also. So that's the like the story here. And अब let me tell you कि हुआ क्या है basically. So 1950s की बात है. एक स्ट्रेंजर जो थी ना वो यूएफओ स्टोरी है, और ये स्टोरी जो है ना वो नरेट किया है जियोर्ज एडम्स की. जो एडम्स की जो था ना वो कैलिफोर्निया में एक डेजर्ट में गया हुआ था, ठीक. और अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ। और जब वो मतलब ये उन एडम्सकी खुद और उनके जो फ्रेंड्स थे वो यूएफओ में मतलब बहुत जो थे ना उनका इंटरेस्ट था। और जब वो लाइक मिडल ऑफ डेजर्ट में थे तो उन्हें जो है एक एयरक्राफ्ट लाइक विच इज़ यूएफओ और यूएपी जो है ना उतरता नजर आया मिडल ऑफ द डेजर्ट में। और जैसे ही वो उतरा है तो लाइक नेचुरली जो है ना एडम्सकी को मतलब ये फील हुआ कि ये जो जो भी चीज़ लैंड हुई है ये उसके लिए जो है ना वो लैंड हुई है। एंड देन ही स्टार्टेड मूविंग टुवर्ड्स दैट एयरक्राफ्ट एंड उस एयरक्राफ्ट में से एक स्मॉल ऑब्जेक्ट जो था ना वो फिर इमर्ज हुआ है। और जब वो इमर्ज हुआ है तो उसमें से एक बीइंग निकला है लाइक इट ऑलमोस्ट लुक लाइक हाउ ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर। और उन्होंने जो है ना एक दूसरे के साथ अपने साथ मतलब टेलीपैथिकली जो है ना वो कांटेक्ट किया है। और उन्होंने ये वार्निंग दी है कि तुम जो है ना अपने प्लेनेट को जो है ना वो डिस्ट्रॉय कर रहे हो एक्चुअली। बिकॉज वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 के बाद हमने न्यूक्लियर प्रोग्राम जो है ना वो स्टार्ट कर दिए हमने, यू कैन से इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन। और हमने जो है ना अपनी अर्थ को जो है ना वो डिस्ट्रॉय करना शुरू कर दिया। और इस और यहाँ पे जो था ना वो एडम्सकी जो था उसने उन जो ह्यूमंस हैं उनका नाम जो था ना उन एलियंस उन क्रिएचर्स का नाम जो था ना वो ऑर्थोन जो था ना वो रखा। तो ऑर्थोन ने वार्न किया था कि जो ये ह्यूमंस एक्सपेरिमेंट्स कर रहे हैं तो ये ना सिर्फ डैमेज कर रहा है अर्थ को बल्कि डैमेज कर रहा है सोलर सिस्टम को भी। और बाद में जब क्रिकेट जो टेलीपैथिकली इंफॉर्मेशन होती है वो आपको वन टाइम जो है ना वो सारी आप उसको डाइजेस्ट नहीं कर सकते। वो फिर लेटर ऑफ ईयर्स में मतलब 5-6 साल बाद जो है ना आपके ईयर्स बाद जाके जो है ना चीज़ें खुलती हैं फिर आपको समझ आती है। और फिर उसमें से जो था इन्फॉर्मेशन उसको ये भी पता चली कि वो जो एलियंस थे वो जो भी क्रिएचर्स थी वो आई थी वीनस से। अब यहाँ पे दो सिनेरियोज हो सकते हैं, या तो हेलुसिनेट कर रहा था राम्सकी, या तो ये मे बी ट्रू भी हो सकता है, या तो आ, वो कोई ड्रीम में होगा। तो मल्टीपल पॉसिबिलिटीज हो सकती हैं। लेकिन अब ये वाली चीज़ें जो है ना लाइक दीज काइंड ऑफ इंसिडेंट्स are reportedly more over 1,000 times. So I don't think this is like some hallucinations or you can say some like dreams, but I think this is some true stories. And maybe the US government or the governments of all the worlds are trying to hide these kind of stories because they don't want panic in the world. So that's one of the reasons, you can say. Okay, so the next story I want to share is about the Nordic aliens. So in this story, we will see like there was a Hollywood writer and he saw a 7 foot tall stranger which like spoke inside his head and he then vanished. So this incident was happening in Washington State in August, Iceland, and the Hollywood writer and producer Brent Friedman was like visiting his friends who owned a large villa. Oh, and he has like isolated property on that Iceland in Orcus, Iceland. So like his friends with which Brent was living. So he just to walk away in the morning, like go for the morning walk to get some bread, to get some you can say fresh bread and some food. And Brent was alone in that house. So Brent decided to go for a walk, and he eventually reached a near edge of the property. And about 20 feet below that property from where Brent was standing, he noticed a man. But the most interesting thing is Brent himself was around like 6'4", and that stranger appeared like significantly. It is more taller, like you can say around 7 foot. So with around 7 feet, Brent said in his story. So he like Brent described his personality like that person has blonde hair, pale skin, a powerful build, and you can say facial features also. So Brent compared to those of exceptionally perfect Scandinavian model, like how the Scandinavian models are. So his first thought was like that guy must be some Scandinavian model, but then the man, that man was standing below 20 feet. He just said, "Hello, Brent." So he don't like pronounce, like don't ask or pronounce the name of Brent through gesture through mouth. But the problem is he just project his thoughts in the Brent mind, and then Brent able to like he can't able to digest initially like what was happening at that time. and so they were like telepathically they were communicating with each other, and that figure, that Norvedic alien, said like turn around and walk away. And so Brent was like too much terrified. So Brent decided not to argue here, because once you saw like a person which is a more taller than you, a more muscular than you, and he has like a good physique, so you don't want to be able to argue with that person. So he just then decided to not to argue, and he just left the property. And when he just walked away, and then he just turned back, so the man wasn't there. Okay, then so when he's so well, like Brent here was too much surprised here, and when his friends, when his like friends which were away on the morning walk, so when he just come back, so he asked that friend like, "What is that strange thing which I saw?" So for them, so like for that friend, this was a normal, you can say, a normal story, because they had seen these types of creatures from the last 10 to 20 years. And that friend reportedly said like, you don't need to worry, so they don't harm you, they don't harm the people which are living on this island. And also he mentioned like, um, don't don't discuss this whole scenario which you had just recently saw with your eyes with anyone. But to confirm like whether this even real, he just went into the nearby bar or on that Iceland, and there he asked like 3 to 4 people, and all the 3 to 4 people said the exactly same, like these kind of creatures visit the earth, and they don't harm us, but oftenly they like come in mysterious ways, and they left mysterious routes also. So that's the second story which I want to share about the aliens. Okay, so our app is fixed, I guess. So let me just check on the GitHub actions. And one more thing, APK release debug file, debug file as artifacts being pushed the GitHub actions. So like the US government and all the governments of the world are like hiding too much information from us, and they don't want people to ever uh, know about this information, because if you guys know, or if you like make this information public, then your you will be done, man. You will be murdered, or you will be killed as soon as possible, because some powerful people don't want this information to be leaked in the world. So that's the thing. Yeah, running the there was lint errors previously. Okay, again error. silent and static error still I'm getting. Okay, so let me share another story also. So like this story was about in a Brazilian Iceland. This incident happened, and that Iceland was like terrorized by mysterious lights that allegedly burned people even. So this event happened in 1977. So residents around Brazil, specifically the location is Polaris. So they began to report that something terrifying is in the sky, and it all started with mysterious lights. And at first, like people simply noticed bright objects which are moving overhead, and then residents began claiming the lights were coming towards them, and some even said like they were being attacked by beams of light. And one account involved like where a man sleeping inside his home, and according to his story, a bright beam which like somehow passed through his roof and it struck his leg, and he immediately felt an intense burning sensation. And afterwards, a reddish burn mark was reportedly visible on his skin, on his chest, and he wasn't alone because this same incident was reported by many other people also. So as the incidents increased, more people began arriving at local hospitals uh, with like so more people like they arrived at their local hospitals with unusual marks on their bodies, and especially the marks was on their chest. And according to the transcript, in which a doctor noticed, so like it was a female doctor which noticed recurring patterns among patients like circular or unusual burns which appears on areas which include chest, shoulders and arms. And some victims also claim like they felt weak afterwards, like after they get struck from the un you can say unidentified light. And others believe like these objects were draining their energy or even their blood also. So in some reports, people HB level was also like pretty much low after they were hit by this unusual object. And then blood tests on some patients were reportedly described as showing unusually low blood counts, low blood cells, white and red blood cells, and there were also stories of temporary paralysis and some residents, you can say, at that time. So they became so frightened that they reportedly stopped going outside at night because of these kind of incidents which was happening. And these mysterious phenomena become, you can say, popularly associated with what locals call chupa chupa. Okay, and which like loosely referring to something that sucked or drained its victim. Okay, and then eventually Brazilian military then they showed up and they become involved in this incident in the investigation of these sightings. But decades later the questions remain. They can't able to figure out what these lights were, who was like behind these lights, whether it is some secret project, whether it is a military project, or whether it is like some UAP or UFO. We don't even know. So still now this case is not yet solved, like who was behind this whole Chupa Chupa incident. So that's the third story of UFO one I want to share with you. The lights were coming towards them, and some even said like they were being. Okay, so we have a couple of errors in our application, and yeah, again, stuck load. And so whenever you want to make any Android application, so if you go on my GitHub, so I there is a one repo with named as Kotlin Android Enterprise or Docs for AI. There I gave all the docs which you guys need to give to your AI agent. And once you have an idea finalized, then just go over to the Gemini and just ask it like, I have this idea, just populate this idea into the documents accordingly, and then make the application a full stack application based on that document. So I have here figure. So in the docs, I have features, architecture, database, domain, because when you are like vibe coding, you have an idea, you know, like so in this vibe coding I will not call it like a fully a vibe coding, but it is AI assisted. You can say AI assisted SDLC basically. So where you will define like architecture, data, database, domain, environment, networking, observability, performance, presentation. So all of these data is available in these docs. You can check out specific to this application, which is open source. So you can contribute in this in this application also. Just create an issue, and after getting an issue, just open the pull request after you have solved that error. Checking enrollment error result next will report back. So there are pretty much result, and that's, let me just give it to plot. The log matches of the old failure from. Okay, so there is daily team meeting also. So let's just continue what is happening. Check whether the check plugin fix has been committed, pushed. Okay, so this commit was not even pushed. And I also made a Rapodec extension, so you guys can just check it on the OpenVSX if you are using Integravity, or you can check it on the Visual Studio Code deck. So you can, at one place, you can see issues, pull requests, discussions, and GitHub actions also. So all four things at one place. So what more you guys? Let me just commit. Don't know like whether it is some GitHub problem or it is my internet, because GitHub was also yesterday down again. Think I just push it again, error or that. Okay, so it is not synced yet, and it is taking time. I will just come back in few minutes. Let me grab a water bottle. Okay, guys, I am back again. There was some error, build error, man. What the hell? Lint error. Okay, run Android lint. So just getting lint errors. Then we are Yeah. So we are just stuck at lint errors. Red and red and red. Yeah. So we I we are just stuck at lint errors. Red and red and red. Yeah. So we I we are just stuck at lint errors. Red and red and red. Yeah. So we I we are just stuck at lint errors. Red and red and red. So we are just stuck at lint errors. Red and red and red. We are just stuck at lint errors. Red and red and red. This is the GitHub repo. 23 commits, and you can read more about this project here. And if you go onto the actions, so because I am like just this is the deploying APK here, so that's why we need to fix the lint error first of all. And for the lint errors, again give it to Claude. I don't know like why Claude is making so much silly mistakes again. So Kotlin linter, so we have problems with here. Okay, let's go back to Claude Code. So I'm using Claude Code in anti-gravity, and also I'm using here OpenAI Codex. That's pretty much interesting. Yeah. If all fixes have sync, I hope so. Now there will be no error again. Hope so. Just then just wait. Let me just show you guys. Oops. Style. It's not showing. Not switching. So just wait here. Lint and static errors are green. Let's just check for the unit and for the test. Videos. And guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share also. Okay, so unit tests are also done. Assemble and debug. Let's see. Okay, so Chrome is kind of stuck here. Okay, debug. Okay. Assemble debug APK will be go as planned. me just open these directions. So this is running assemble debug APK. Let's see. I hope we don't get some troubles here. So this all whole extension I was made by me by Martian Stack. So yep. Sir, what are you doing? Sir, I am building a Kotlin application, a private AI PDF app. I am building private AI app. Oops. I hope so. Okay, so builds are done. Let me just check for the summary. And I'm not sure. Okay, so I got the debug APK, and the debug APK is around 118 MB. So that's pretty much. Yeah. Okay, so all the checks are green as you can see. So you can just download this reproductive extension also, and you can use so you don't ever need to go onto the web browser and check again and again. Let me just test this application. So it is local debug APK. So if you guys want to test this application, then I'm just giving the link in the chat. So you can just download it